Hello. You guys can start debate now.
No, no, no. They're having the 15 minutes of prep time.
Oh, okay.
Yes. 嗯，你们其实已经超过你们的准备时间了，你们现在要开始了，因为已经过了15分钟了，所以现在可以开始了。
All right, time is up. Speaker number one for the affirmative team. What is your student ID letter? A, B, or C? Speaker one for the affirmative team. I call you up again. What is your student ID letter? A, B, or C?
Uh, A.
All right. Please begin your speech. You are advised to turn on your camera to increase your presentation marks. I will ring the bell at 3 minutes and then again at 4 minutes. Please begin your speech.
Mm, Learning to play a musical instrument from an early age is helpful for students in many ways. It enhances their overall confidence and makes them learn dedication and patience. The first benefits for students to improve their memory. Further research has shown that participation in music at an early age can improve children's learning ability and memory by stimulating different patterns of brain development. Learning an instrument teaches students how to create, store, and retrieve memories more efficiently. Another benefit is stimulates creativity. Practicing music is a creative pursuit. Learning to play an instrument does wonders to the creative side of a child's brain. No matter how much the music teacher annotates a composition, they cannot fully express how a piece of music should be played. So it's upon the learner to put their own stamp on a piece. Every time students hold their instrument to practice something, they will have to inject a part of their personality into it. This gives students a healthy and composed way to channelize their inner creativity. Besides that, another benefit is teachers' patience. Patience is the highest virtue of living in content life. Playing an musical instrument means having to preserve through hours, days, and possibly years of practice. It helps students learn from one fact that the more effort you put into something, better the result will be. Besides, music lessons also make students understand how to set goals. They will be able to set short term and long term goals for learning a specific note and a new song with lots of different notes, respectively. Thank you.
Thank you to the first speaker of the affirmative team. You now have 60 seconds to prepare before I call up the next speaker. Time is up. Speaker one for the negative team. What is your student ID letter? A, B, or C?
A.
All right. Thank you. Begin your speech. I will ring the bell once at 3 minutes and once again at 4 minutes.
Alright, good morning to the educators, member of the floor, and also my respected opponents. My name is Daphne, and I am the first speaker of the negative team. Would like to strongly disagree with the topic today, which is students should learn to play a musical instrument. My team definition of today's topic is an instrument that has a timbre and temperament such as piano, violin, cello, guitar, and so on. I'll be giving out the role of the negative team. I, as the first speaker, will be giving the definition of today's debate and giving out my team first point, which is learning musical instruments can be expensive. Andrea, as the second speaker, will be rebutting the affirmative team point and giving out my team's second point. Learning musical instruments can be harmful to one's health. And my team third point, students should have the right to choose the subject. Wan Ning, as the third speaker, will also be rebutting the affirmative team point and summarizing our team case. The first speaker of the affirmative team has said that learning musical instruments can improve your patience, but other activities such as art or dance also can improve your patience. So we cannot to force students to learn musical instruments. And now I'll be giving out my team first point. My team disagrees that students should learn to play musical instruments because it can be expensive. Learning an instrument is also a costly activity. Whether the price of the instrument is does not include all of the other costs associated with learning to play it. Here are some costs of learning an instrument. All prices are ringgit Malaysia. First, equipment. For example, a beginner piano is around 4,000. If you want to learn a professional piano, it's 17,000 or more. Furthermore, purchase a cello. You need to buy a bow, bag, case. The beginner will be about 3,500. Professional will be 31,000 or more. Besides, the average rent for all musical instruments is 200 per month. Learning musical instrument is a long-term activity, so the rent is also not a small amount. Next, committing to lessons. Musical lessons will usually be at least one a week. If you present guest fee and lesson fee will increase, and your lesson fee will rise when your grade increase. The lesson fee average is about 4,000 a year. Sheet music. The cost of textbook, sheet music, and instructional book are really not cheap, and students will need more and more this material as they expand their repertoire and develop their abilities. Next, performance. For every grade, there will be an exam, and of course, there will be a fee. Besides, you also need to have a formal clothing for competition. This is also a cost. In order to improve the knowledge of music, you will choose to go to the concert, but the ticket is also a lot of money. Last, maintenance, repair, and accessories. All instruments require regular upkeep and repair, whether they need new strings, reed, or occasional cleaning. Accessories like cases, cleaning clothes will become necessary as well. Instrument repair and maintenance procedures are really expensive. Learning musical instruments includes the long-term requirements related to lessons, repair, accessories, sheet music, and so on. The true cost of learning an instrument can easily equate to thousands, even to 10,000 a year. If every student should learn to play a musical instrument in a financially stressed family, if there is a large sum for learning musical instruments, the financial situation will be more difficult, especially now in this situation like COVID-19, the family financial burden will increase. So, ladies and gentlemen, learn educators, in conclusion, we the negative team strongly disagree with the today topic, which is students should learn to play a musical instrument. Thank you.
Thank you for the negative first speaker for the amazing speech. You have 60 seconds to prepare before I call up the next speaker. Time is up. Speaker number 2 for the affirmative team. What is your student ID letter? A, B, or C?
A.
All right. You please begin your speech.
Okay. Good morning, teacher. Playing musical instrument will enhance coordination. Playing an instrument means the brain has to work swiftly and efficiently. On their guitar lesson or any other instrument, students have to concentrate on reading music and converting the notes into the physical motion of playing. As a result, they can significantly improve their hand-eye coordination. The trombone makes a good example here. Instead of keys or strings, a trombone's slide tube has to be moved to the right position at the right time in order to achieve the correct note. Next, playing musical instrument will boost confidence. Playing an instrument helps students get comfortable with self-expression. As students begin to master their instrument, they will probably someday play in front of a few audience, starting with their music teacher or parents, and branching out to groups of other peoples and concert audience. Furthermore, it will improve listening skill. Playing an instrument requires listeners to listen carefully to an array of different things. Not only do they need to listen to instructions from their teacher, but they also need to pay attention to pitch, speed, texture, and other minor details. This overall improves their listening ability. Moreover, it also helps them to increasing their concentration level and overall attention span. Thank you.
Thank you to the affirmative second speaker. You have 60 minutes to prepare before I call up the next speaker. Time is up. Speaker number 2 for the negative team. What is your student ID letter? A, B, or C?
B.
All right. Please begin your speech.
A very good morning to the judges, member of the floor, and my dear opponents. The topic of today's debate is students should learn to play a musical instrument. B. The negative team strongly believes that this statement is false. The first speaker from the affirmative team had tried to tell you learning to play an instrument simultaneously the brain cell. This is wrong because you can't really judge a people can be improving your memory and learning musical instrument at the same time without proof. Besides, you can improve your memory in other activities such as sports, study, or even debate. The first speaker from our team has already stated out our team's first points, which is learning musical instruments can be expensive. Today, I will be talking about to you my team's second point, which is learning musical instruments can be harmful to one's health. Indeed, music may grant satisfaction few other human occupation can match, but for many, it is also exacting a heavy price in chronic afflictions. For example, music performance anxiety, also known as stage fright. According to Charlene Ryan and Nicole Andrew study, who are students from Berklee College of Music Boston, the study has shown that musical performance anxiety was a common experience for chorus singers. Solo performers were reported to be more anxiety than chorus experience, but performing in instruments chorus caused greater anxiety than the chorus. Another health risk for orchestral musicians is noise exposure and the potential for permanent hearing damage. Brass and woodwind players and percussionists are at a particular risk of being exposed to sound level of more than 85 decibels, which can cause permanent hearing damage. Moreover, one instrument player has having a higher risk of respiratory infection. In a study published in the International Journal of Environmental Health Research, Tufts University scientists tested 20 instruments, including flutes, trumpets, and saxophone, and more. All were found to harbor living microorganisms, some of which even survived for several days when cultured. Besides, droplets can blast out of an instrument and linger in the air are dangerous. The droplet that blasts out will increase the risk of being infected with COVID-19. Now to my team third point. Students should have the right to choose the subject they want to learn. Teachers and parents may be thinking that children might not learn what is really important. However, forcing students to learn certain subjects such as learning to play a music instrument will be limiting a student's future. For example, when you ask a 5-year-old kid what they want to be, what they want to be when they grow up, they will say like this stuff like I want to be a doctor or I want to be an astronaut. When you ask the same question to a 13-year-old kids who have been to school their whole life, they are unsure of what they want to do, as they have been they are being brought up creativity. When students are allowed to choose what they learn about, they learn to love things they learn to love things they love more than ever. Another example, if a person admires to become a computer scientist, what use will they have learning to play a musical instrument since 5? I believe students should be given the opportunity to take their future in their own hands. So, ladies and gentlemen, in conclusion, we, the negative team, strongly disagree with today's topic whether students should learn to play a musical instrument. I would like to end my speech here. Thank you.
Thank you to the second speaker of the negative team. You have 60 seconds to prepare before I call up the next speaker. Time is up. Speaker number 3 for the affirmative team. What is your student ID letter? A, B, or C?
C.
All right, please begin your speech.
Good morning, teacher. Learning instruments may introduce new culture and history. Music is a reflection of the era it was composed in. Students create a story to tell while they play. This sometimes sparks curiosity among students to go and research the era being portrayed in the piece. Besides that, benefit also can improve social skill. Playing an instrument is not only good for your student brain, it is also great for expanding his social circle. Joining a musical group
an early age encourages you to develop relationship with other students from different backgrounds. It also builds leadership and team building skill, as well as encourage your little rockstar to understand the importance of teamwork. Moreover, it teaches them to be kind and considerate towards their group fellows. Next, another benefit is promotes smartness. Music in general help brings balance and harmony in one life. Students who learn to play an instrument have an outlet for creativity and their emotions. This is something that induces self-expression in kids. That your student to piano lessons or whatever type of instrument he is intrigued with and notice the change in his development and personality. Thank you.
Thank you to the third speaker of the affirmative team. You have 60 seconds to prepare before I call up the next speaker. Time is up. Speaker number 3 of the negative. What is your student ID letter? A, B, or C?
C.
All right, please begin your speech.
Okay. Good morning to the learned educators, ladies and gentlemen. The topic of today's debate is students should learn to play musical instruments. B. The negative team believes that this statement is false. And now I would like to give up my rebuttal to the opposite team. The first affirmative speaker has tried to tell you about learning music can improve our memory, creativity. But no, there's nothing to prove that learning music can improve our memory exactly. And also, other activities such as drawing or dancing also can improve our creativity. The second affirmative speaker has tried to tell you about learning musical can improve our confidence. But uh, this is wrong because, but sorry, the first speaker, the second affirmative speaker has tried to tell you about learning music can improve our confidence and listening skills. But other activities such as speaking or debate also can improve your confidence. So we cannot force students to learn musical instruments. And also, every activity can improve our listening skill, such as learning a foreign language. Our first speaker spoke to you about students should not learn musical instruments because compared to other academic activities, learning music instruments can be more expensive. It is difficult to cultivate a student learning to play a musical instrument, and also music programs cost a lot of money. Our second speaker spoke to you about students should have the right to choose what to learn. We can't force them to learn music. They have the right to choose freely. I believe students should be given the opportunity to take their future into their own hands. She also gave out a statement that learning musical instruments can be harmful to one's health, for example, music performance anxiety, also known as stage fright. And also, another health risk for orchestral musicians is noise exposure and the potential for permanent hearing damage. So, ladies and gentlemen, in conclusion, we, the negative team, strongly disagree with today's topic, which is students should learn to play musical instruments. Thank you.
Thank you to the third speaker from the negative team. Before I announce the winner, each team must give up to 90 seconds of feedback and advice to the other team. You may divide this time however you like. To score well, you must be courteous, constructive, and kind. Do not use this time to keep arguing the motion. Instead, focus on how your opponents could become better debaters. You have 90 seconds to plan your feedback. I am not allowed to give any feedback of my own.
Hello. I'm the second speaker of my team, which is the negative team. And I would like to share my thoughts to you since I am the team leader of my team. So, good morning to the judges, member of the floor, and my opponents. I will be representing our group to give out our thoughts or even compliments. So first of all, it is very honorable to have a competition with you guys because I know that you guys are really have a really good voice, and I think that the first speaker point, which is the learning musical instrument can gain confidence, is really a good point. And last but not least, have a nice day and good luck for the next round. Finger crossed.
Thank you to the negative team for the cute feedback. Come on, affirmative team, it's your turn to give your feedback. Anyone from the affirmative team?
Yes. Good morning to all. I'm the first speaker from the affirmative team, and it's it's nice having you guys here to debate with us. You guys are the best. Thank you.
All right, thank you team for the feedback. Okay, it's time to announce the winner. This round goes to the negative team. Please turn on your webcam and congratulate one another. All right, thank you guys for today. This debate is officially over. You guys can move on to the next room to prepare for your next debate.
Hi.
Hi.
All done already, yeah. That was so fast. How's the scoring? Everything okay? Mingho?
Yeah. What?
How's the scoring? Everything okay?
Yeah.
Awesome. Any issues?
Not really.
That's great. That's great. How's the team?
I'm surprised.
Ooh, that's good.
I don't know. I think they're in the scholars, right? Probably.
I have no idea. I have to check back down. Yeah, no.
It's Daphne and I forgot the others.
Daphne, she has been debating for a little bit.
Yeah, I can tell the team is like very cooperated, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Cooperative.
Yeah.
That's good. Have you submitted your score?
Yeah, I did.
Let me check.
I
Oh,
already
yeah. Awesome.
yeah, I already talked to Jared.
Okay, that's great. All right. Then you can wait patiently for your next team.
All right.
Yeah. Chill, relax, drink coffee. Bye, people.
Welcome to the Jitsin English debate competition. Debaters, after I read the motion, you will have 15 minutes to prepare. You may use any books or devices you find helpful. Each of you will speak up to 4 minutes. You may never interrupt the speaker. I will put a reminder in the chat when you have 1 minute left and remind you again when you are out of time. If that happens, you may finish your sentence, but then you must sit down. You will have 60 seconds between speakers to work with your team. Be respectful and listen carefully to your opponents. Remember, after this debate, you will give them feedback on how to become better debaters. Audience, you may not leave if a student is speaking, and you may not talk with the teams. Now, before we begin, affirmative team, what is your team number?
101.
All right. Are there any affirmative team members missing?
No.
Negative team, what is your team number?
104.
Are there any negative team members missing?
No.
All right. Today's motion is social media should be censored. You will have 15 minutes to prepare starting now. Time is up. Speaker number 1 for the affirmative team. What is your student ID letter? A, B, or C?
A.
All right. You are advised to turn on your camera for extra presentation marks. Thank you, and please begin your speech.
Good morning to the adjudicators, members of the floor, and my fellow opponents. I am the first speaker of the affirmative team. My name is Lim Xing Yue. As the first speaker, I will be explaining today's topic and giving some points to My second speaker will giving out points of censorship can protect children from unhealthy content and reduce the amount of conflict that is in society. My third speaker will be presenting the points of censorship can provide another level of security to a country's profile and some rebuttals. Today's topic is social media should be censored. And our team strongly agrees to today's topic. The word censored is deleting content that are offensive to society, including violence, sexual, or any unpleasant content. We, people live in a technological era that social media has a dominant position in our daily life. We, the affirmative team, strongly agrees to today's topic that is social media should be censored. This House strongly agrees to today's topic as censorship can reduce the impact of hate speech in society. In the idea that all speech is equal is arguably false. There are words that people use as an effort to shut down the right to speak of others. It took over a century for minorities and women of the presence of hate speech, even if it is clothed in the ideas of religious freedom, status rights, or patriotism that doesn't change what it is to others. Censorship gives us the opportunity to stop this hate before it can get started. We already live within the confines of education, family, entertainment, commerce, and more. The limiting process creates more opportunities for equality. Judges and my fellow opponents, may I ask you, if you are a parent, do you agree to let your child to surf the uncensored websites on social media? Keep your answer in mind. I had finished my speech. Thank you very much.
Thank you to the first speaker of the affirmative team. You will have 60 seconds to prepare before I call up the next speaker. Time is up. Speaker number 1 of the negative team. What is your student ID letter? A, B, or C?
104B.
All right. Thank you. Please begin your speech.
So, good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen. I am Jacqueline, the first speaker of the opposition team, and my speaker ID is 104B. Thank you for giving us your time to listen to the other side of the argument. The first speaker of the affirmative team would have you believe that censoring social media would reduce hate speech, eventually leading to equality. But in a society where even our freedom of speech can be violated by those with higher authority, authority. Do you think that higher do you think that we would really be able to abolish all hate speech? Do you think that all equality would even exist if we just abolish everything that is discriminating on social media? I don't think so. And for the topic of the debate for today is that social media should be censored. We agree with the definition given by the affirmative team, but I would like to add on our side of the definition too. Our definition of social media censoring for this debate is the control or suppression of what can be accessed, published, or viewed on social media. What the affirmative hasn't said is that who controls all of this, and we would like to add on that both users and the government and even social media companies can oppose these types of censoring, such as users can report offensive or discriminating content, while social media companies and governments have the power to shut down information. Today, we as the opposition team believe that social media should not be censored. First of all, I'll be talking about the first and second point. Our second speaker is Carissa, speaker ID being 104A, and she'll be talking about the third and fourth point. Our third speaker is Wenshen, speaker ID being 104C, and he'll be rebutting the affirmative team's points and summing up our team case. So starting off, I'll be explaining how social media censoring stops the flow of information. And my second point today is how personal responsibility would be taken away, leading to ignorance. Firstly, social media censorship stops this flow of information on posts. So feelings or opinions on random topics by users can be considered a post. Social media has slowly integrated into our lives by sparking different conversations. Censorship may stop false information from spreading, but it can also be used to control what's allowed to be posted from social media accounts. Each platform has their own rules when governing what is acceptable to be posted. 3 years ago, Facebook flagged the Declaration of Independence as hate speech, meaning that now Facebook has full authority to shut down whatever they see as inappropriate by their own reasoning. By stopping and controlling information, high tech companies will eventually succeed in controlling what our eyes scroll through, controlling our thoughts and actions in the process. This leads me to my second point. Social media censorship would take away personal responsibility and lead to ignorance. When users aren't in control anymore, people will no longer be responsible for their choices, and there will be no meaningful reason to have a shared morality when people can be told what to do, think, or say on social media platforms. Some users will continue to not think about the consequences when posting because it's the tech company's job to censor out that stuff, not their job. Therefore, it's a disadvantage where people can go from free expression to complete control and restriction without even realizing it. With false information floating around, it's up to social media users to choose what they believe and what not. A user's responsibility is involved in researching the accuracy of information. It is also the parents' responsibility to look after their children's children's social media usage. However, it's far too often that a user easily makes assumptions about the contents just through headlines and titles. A lack of truth, along with censoring, encourages ignorance or silence that will only dumb down society further. So, dear bright and powerful members of the floor, I hope you now know that it's important to stop social media censorship. Indeed, you might say that it keeps us from harm, but it also takes away individual freedom by blinding you to think that you're correct when what you might be doing or seeing aren't the right things. Would you rather be blinded of the dangers, or would you rather take measures into your own hands for the safety and rights of your own freedom? I hope that I've been able to show you a different side of this topic, and thank you for listening.
Thank you to the first speaker of the negative team. You now have 60 seconds to prepare before I call out the next speaker. Time is up. Speaker number 2 for the affirmative team. What is your student ID letter, A, B, or C?
B.
All right, please begin your speech.
A very good morning to the educators, my team members, and my opponents. My name is Eng Le-yun, and I'm the second speaker of the alternative team. My team strongly agree with the topic today, which is social media should be censored. Firstly, social media should be censored because it can protect children from unhealthy content. Parents have plenty of work to do in today's society to protect their children from unhealthy influence. There's content everywhere, including items that slip through parent filter and kid-friendly apps. This could lead to harmful encounter in the future because children have fewer qualms about thinking with strangers online than adults. Because of the way kids see the world is more innocence, curiosity, and might be shy or lonely. Censorship allows us to cut through the ignoring of potential threats so that a children's inexperience and lack of foresight doesn't get them into trouble. By stopping people before they can act into a situation, we can keep everyone safer because of certain restriction. Besides that, censorship can reduce the amount of conflict that is in society. Excuse me. If you look on the internet long enough, there will be something that can offend anyone. The goal of censorship isn't to eliminate access to anything that anyone might find in the problematic. What we can do with this process is to limit access to information that could have an adverse impact on the overall culture of our home, community, or countries. For an example, Netflix and Saudi Arabia work together to create target areas of censorship based on this principle. Whether you agree or disagree with this practice, this work moves access to content that might be destructive to society. In short, my team strongly agree with the topic today of social media should be censored. It's because it can protect children from unhealthy content and it can reduce the amount of conflict that is in society today. I have finished my speech and thank you for listening.
Thank you. You have 60 seconds to prepare before I call up the next speaker. Time is up. Speaker number 2 of the negative team. What is your student ID letter, A, B, or C?
A.
All right, please begin your speech.
Okay, I'll start in 3, 2, 1. Social media companies should not act as censor, said Rai Gutman, Associate Professor of Newspaper and Online Journalism in the Washington Post. Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, Honorable Adjudicator, and my worthy opponents. I'm 104A, Carissa, the second speaker of the opposition team. I'll be rebutting the first and second speaker of the affirmative team, and I'm going to put forward the third and fourth point for our team. We, the opposition team, strongly oppose today's motion that is social media should be censored, and we will prove to you there's also other solution besides censoring the social media. The first affirmative speaker has tried to tell you censoring can reduce hate speech, but afterwards she said that all people should have equal right. Then isn't this the contradiction?
You do not allow them to speak freely, but you say this world is providing equality. Then the second affirmative speaker also say that when social media is censored, it protects children from inappropriate content and is more secureable. This is wrong because censorship is killing the spirit of social media. If you see someone post something on Facebook or any social media that you think is inappropriate, morally with sexual connotation, violence, or criminal in nature, what you can do is to report it, and then Facebook will just remove it or other social media will just remove it. Hence, private companies should not act as censor on the social media just because the content posted has differing viewpoints or anti-establishment. Now to my first point. It is a huge outlay to be engaged in the practice of censorship. Let me explain why we, the opposition team, disagree with the idea of censoring social media. We can see, with all our advanced modern technology, internet filtering is still imperfect today. The internet is a dynamic environment with new websites appearing every day. The huge amount of labor required to maintain this filter is very futile. It just makes this filter a waste of taxpayer money. When you look at direct and indirect expenses in every other category, the world likely spends over 100 billion USD. Let me repeat, 100 billion USD to create altered information flow. It is absolutely not worth it because those expenses are only the tip of the iceberg to consider when looking at the practical enforcement of censorship on others. To solve these problems, we can reduce our costs by using some unique apps. Taiwan has invented an app, Trend Micro Fraud Prevention Expert, to identify rumors, news, fake investment, shopping scam stickers, and verify online informations. This app has been recommended by the Police Department 165 Anti-Fraud Network, a must-have tool if you need it. Now to my second point. It allows people to create a specific narrative in society to call it truth. This is because it hides the truth from the people, especially when the government is responsible for what information people can access. Then there is no longer any personal accountability for one's action. Once someone is willing to allow another individual, company, or elected officials to tell them how to think and act, it becomes much easier to let more control over life decisions disappear as well. Instead of being individuals, censorship turns people into zombies. This will lead to a verse from the good book of Bible, stated that people are destroyed due to lack of knowledge, which is due to censorship. My worthy opponents, let me ask you a question. Who has the power to define the truth for the society? You? Me? The government? Of course not. It should be the public, they themselves, who can use their own wisdom to distinguish right or wrong. Now come to the end. Professor Gutterman, an expert on communication laws and the First Amendment, say that the answer to hate speech is more speech, as the doctrine of more speech affects how both people and the government choose to regulate speech. Members of the floor, in conclusion, we the people play a dominant role in social media, not the government nor the private companies of social media. Hence, the motion for today should fall and must fall. Lastly, I hope you have an exciting week ahead with the freedom to access information. Thank you.
Thank you to the second speaker for the negative team. You will have 60 seconds to prepare before I call up the next speaker. Time is up. Speaker number 3 for the affirmative team. What is your student ID letter, A, B, or C?
C.
All right. Please begin your speech.
A very good morning to the judges, my member, and my opponents. I am the third speaker of the affirmative team. My name is Tan Roning. We all, the affirmative team, strongly agreed that social media should be censored. Before giving my points, I would like to rebut the point which is human rights issue given by the speaker one from opponents. According to the human rights issue given by speaker one, I would like to state this situation by replacing it to country, which are China and US as example. The US continues to have the highest report criminal incarceration rate in the world, but China not. This is because China got censorship, but US doesn't. Aside from the statements given by my teammates, I would like to state about level of security to a country's profile. Social media should be censored for providing another level of security. This is because it can limit the amount of information that the general public receive every day from their government, business, and large institutions. Without this concept, top secret files could be made public with a simple request. Proprietary ingredients wouldn't be available because of the need of disclosure. By limiting certain types of data from the primary flow of society, there is less of a potential for harm. Lastly, I would like to sum up the points given by our team. From position of society, censorship can reduce the impact of hate speech and the amount of conflict, while it also protects children from unhealthy content and provide another level of security to a country's profile. So we all, the affirmative team, strongly agree that social media should be censored. That's all our team opinion. Thank you.
Thank you. You will have 60 seconds to prepare before I call out the next speaker. Time is up. Speaker number 3 for the negative team. What is your student ID letter? A, B, or C?
C.
Okay. Thank you. Please begin your speech.
Okay. Good morning to the chairman, ladies and gentlemen, and to my worthy opponents. I am Wen Shen, the third speaker of the opposition team, and my speaker ID is 104C. And I'll be rebutting and summing up our team's case. Okay. The topic for our debate today is that social media should be censored. And we, the opposition team, strongly disagree with today's motion that social media should be censored. Okay, the first speaker of the affirmative team has tried to tell you that censorship can reduce hate speech in society. But this is wrong because people will become more vulgar since what they say will already be censored. And she also said that it will create more equality. But there's no equality because we can't speak for ourselves. We need to be free. Okay, the second affirmative speaker has tried to tell you that it creates conflict. But we have a solution. What you can do is report it. And then the social media platform will remove it. Then private companies should not act as censors on the social media because the content posted has different viewpoints and anti-establishments. All right. Now I will continue my speech. Our first speaker has told you that social media censorship stops the flow of information that is posted by platform users. Okay, my first speaker stated that social media has been integrated into our lives, our daily lives, as a way to spark conversations and share opinions. And censoring social media controls what individuals are allowed to post from their personal accounts. So you might not be able to post a picture of your cute puppy if social media is censored. So don't censor social media. Okay, my first speaker also gave an example when Facebook flagged the Declaration of Independence of America as hate speech. They just wanted to share the Declaration of Independence of America. And this shows that social media platforms have the authority to shut down whatever they see as inappropriate. Okay. She also said that social media censorship would take away personal responsibility and they would have zero consideration and lead to ignorance. When people are no longer responsible for their choices, social media will continue to post vulgar comments without even thinking about it. The consequences as social media will be they will not think about the consequences as social media would censor their comments. Okay. Also, users easily make assumptions about what contents contain from headlines and titles. Because it is censored, no one would know what the truth no one would know the truth about anything. And that will lead to false rumors because it is censored. A lack of truth with the censoring encourages ignorance or silence, and then it will be bring down by society. You'll be safe, but you'll be blinded by the dangers and kept away from the truth. Our second speaker spoke to you about censoring social media is a huge outlay as it makes this filter a big waste of taxpayers' money. And it has been proven by my second speaker from an example that is the world likely spends over 100 billion USD to create altered information flows. Instead of censoring, my second speaker also gave an alternative which has been proven to be successful, which is the trend micro fraud prevention expert from Taiwan that can identify rumors, news, fake investments, shopping scam stickers, and verify online informations. She also stated that it allows people to create specific narrative in society to call it truth. Censoring hides the truth from people, especially when the government is responsible for what information people can access. And for that, what we should not censor social media because it can strengthen the readability of access of information. So if you don't censor social media, you will be better. You'll be more stronger. You'll know more information. And just like that, and just like what Professor Goodman once said, the answer to hate speech is more speech. So if we censor social media, we won't be able to speak. We won't be able to speak for ourselves. So there'll be no speech. There'll be more hate speech, as it could affect how both people and the government choose to regulate speech. So, to the chairman, ladies and gentlemen, in conclusion, we, the opposition team, strongly disagree with today's motion on censoring social media. Just like what Professor Goodman once said, social media companies should not act as censors. Thank you.
All right, thank you to the third speaker of the negative team. Before I announce the winner, each team must give up to 90 seconds of feedback and advice to the other team. You may divide this time however you would like. To score well, you must be courteous, constructive, and kind. Do not use this time to keep arguing the motion. Instead, focus on how your opponents could become better debaters. You have 90 seconds to plan your feedback, but I am not allowed to give any feedback of my own. You may start early if you like. It is time for the peer feedback session. Please speak from your seats. I will stop you after 90 seconds. Negative team, you may go first.
Hello. So I'll be talking about the first speakers. I'll be talking about remarks on the first speaker. So I think your speech was very short, simple, and very direct. And I think that was a way to, it was really easy to understand what you were trying to express and what your point was. So it was really, it was a good speech, but I think you could add some more examples because I accidentally used one of your examples in my rebuts. So I'm sorry about that. But yeah, so it was really good, but maybe some statistics, facts, or examples that would back up it.
Okay, for me, I'm going to give feedback for the second speaker. Loyin, I'm so proud of you. We knew each other since we are junior, and I'm so happy for her that her English improved so much, and that her confidence is like wow. Yeah. For her speech is quite firm and quite fluent, and maybe next time when you are giving your speech, you can face the camera so that I can eye contact with you, and yeah, hope you can join more debate competition. Thank you.
I'm really impressed with how quick you guys gave out the points and information. I'm really impressed. And it actually messed me up because I couldn't catch up with the points because it's too quick. So overall, it's very good. Very good debate. Very good speeches. Very good English. Okay, thank you.
Thank you to the negative team for the very wholesome feedback. Now let's welcome the affirmative team to give the peer feedback.
I will be giving some feedbacks to Jacqueline. I think she was very good, made a good job in today's debate, and she spoke very fluently, like every time. But I think today is more better than the other times because this time, she's spoken with more confidence and her voice is more louder than before and very good, I think. Maybe you guys, the first, second, third speaker will be more need to look at the time more because uh maybe your information is a lot, but the time is already finished. So I think you guys did a very good job.
I know the opposite team is a very experienced group, and I'm also happy to have this VS with you guys. Like you all speak in a fluent way, and I think you all did a really good work. That's all.
I think you all prepare so many information and report very well. So this is a good competition for us.
All right, it's time to announce the winner. This round goes to the negative team. Now, please turn on your webcam and congratulate one another.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, educators. Thank you, my worthy opponents.
Thank you, everyone. It was a good debate.
Thank you for such a fun debate.
Good job to both teams. This debate is officially over. You guys can move on to the next room.
Okay.
Thank you.
Teacher,
guys. I will probably be switching rooms.
Why, hello there, Mr. Fu.
Miss Lalita, I think you need to follow me to J3U4. There are people I know here, and then they're asking for a change of class. Bye, people. Good luck.
There's someone there in the J3U4. Then how we are going to going there? Excuse me. Mr. Fu.
Yes.
The recording is already done by someone, I think. So I don't know whether they will stop the recording. Then I need to continue or what?
No. You just leave it.
Just leave it. Okay, thank you. Then I no need to be in the Google Meet ready lah, because I'm not doing the recording.
I think you need to stop the recording after the competition is finished.
Okay. Then I'll be there. Okay.
Okay.
Okay.